Hey, all, it's Jesse here. Welcome back to Table for Two. Today we're having a discussion with Steve, who runs the EsCon board gaming convention in Escondido, California. So we welcome you, Steve. And maybe you could introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the EsCon board gaming convention.
Yeah, thank you, Jesse. My name is Steve, and I've been running the EsCon board gaming convention for the past 8 years. We're going on our 9th year in January, and we've been doing it twice a year for the past 9 years. And it's been quite a joy to meet a lot of people in the community and bring gamers together and just have fun with board games.
And where do you hold the convention at?
It's at the Escondido Charter High School in downtown Escondido. It used to be at Cal State San Marcos, and then we kind of outgrew that. And now we moved on to a larger venue that has more tables and more space for everyone.
Awesome. And you said that it's going on 9 years now. So what year did you actually start this convention?
We started it in 2015, and we were actually at the Best Western Hotel right off of the I-15. And it was during the hottest day in the year. I think it was about 105, and the condenser broke in the air conditioning, and so there was no air conditioning. We had about 50 people show up. It was a 2-day event, and I thought that was going to be the last time that we actually did the convention.
Now, why did you start this convention?
Well, there's a little bit of a story to that, and around 2014, I was working for a defense contractor, and we had some openings to send people to Afghanistan to work as contractors for some of the programs that I run. And some of my gaming group were interested in there, and the kind of a period in their lives where they were kind of looking for something else to do, and they picked up this gig, and I sent them over there to work. And unfortunately, that worked out well for them, but we lost our gaming group, and there was just 2 of us. And so kind of had to think of ways to try to reconstitute the group, and doing convention was the idea that I came up with. And also just to share a lot of my games. I'm kind of a collector at heart, and so I started accumulating a lot of games. And as you know, there's just not enough time with family and life and hobbies and everything else to try to get everything played. So I wanted to be able to share those games with other people and allow them to enjoy them.
What goes into planning this?
Well, there's a lot of moving parts, and it was actually a lot more work than I anticipated at the beginning, because I thought, hey, you get a venue, you put some food out, you wheel the games in, make some name badges, and that's it, and you're ready to go. And there's a lot more upfront that has to be done in the realm of getting the word out to people and kind of marketing the convention. And you really need to rely on people that have been at the convention more to bring their friends, because we get inundated with so much stuff on social media that it's really hard to identify the things that are worthwhile and you want to go to, and the things that are just kind of like just trying to advertise to you. So a lot of the work is kind of in the reach out at the beginning. And the other thing that I do as part of the convention is I host a virtual flea market where we get on Board Game Geek, and there's a geek list. And what we do is we advertise all the games there. And part of that is bringing people that are just kind of into selling games to come forth and get an idea what the convention is about. Because if you're going to come and do the exchange for the meetup for the flea market, might as well stay and do some gaming. So that was just another benefit for the convention that we have. And we get over 2,000, 2,500 listings for the flea market. So if you want to get some cheap games and start building your collection or expanding your collection, it's a great way to go, because there's some really good deals to be had.
What kind of challenges have you had to overcome to get this convention going?
Well, at the beginning, there were a lot of challenges as far as just the venue is concerned. And I wasn't really aware of it because I was never in kind of this industry where you're working in the service industry and you're kind of customer facing. And so a lot of the things really surprised me as far as when we were at Cal State San Marcos, what they kind of the requirements that they had to use their space, and signing a contract you had to, and how they did their pricing, because you had to buy a certain amount of parking spots. You could only park in certain areas. You had to have this type of insurance. And as you can imagine, that's just kind of all part of sort of the process of renting out a venue, and it's all kind of come forward by trying to reduce liability and make sure that if anybody gets hurt, that the venue is not responsible, that the venue owner is responsible, and everything. So a lot of the challenges we're just trying to comply with all the requirements of the venue.
Oh,
Um,
definitely.
and also just kind of trying to find avenues to reach out to people and to gamers. I mean, everybody kind of knows about a lot of the social media sites and things where you can kind of reach out to people, but there's a lot of ways, the other ways that you can do that, as you know, because you've done a lot of promotions yourself, and sort of that guerrilla marketing where you kind of post flyers at coffee shops or game stores or kind of get the word out at meetups. You really have to be creative to reach out to people, because just like anything, it's going to take a you know dozens and dozens of contacts to get one person that's kind of interested and will
Yeah.
actually come.
Now you said that it happens twice a year. When is the next one?
The next one is weekend of January 5th. We do it on a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday.
Definitely. And what's the capacity of your con?
We have a limit of about 220 people,
Okay.
and it's always kind of a little bit of a moving target, because you can't just count all the tables and then multiply it by 4 seats per table, because sometimes there's people that take up a whole table that are just playing 2-player games, sometimes
Yeah.
3-player games. Someone pulls up a chair and it's 5 people at a table. So kind of getting that number just right is always kind of tough. And the
Yeah.
last thing that we want to do is have someone that bought a registration for the convention and then they come there and there are no tables available.
Exactly.
That would be a really awful thing for us.
Oh, definitely. Now, I know you have a lot of features that you feature at the con. I know you have a snack bar where you sell drinks and snacks. Um, could you tell us about some of the other features you have?
Well, we've done a lot of things in the past, and it's always kind of driven by what a lot of the attendees want to do. One year we had a kind of a designer day where we had people with kind of prototype games or games in development, and we had them bring out their games and on display, and people can come and play them, give them feedback, see what they can do. That was always a good time. Also, we don't do anything like tournaments per se. Just doesn't seem like there's a lot of desire for that, especially when people can go up to LA 3 times a year at StrategicCon
Mhm.
and play in any tournament they want. And this is more of kind of a casual gaming atmosphere where you can kind of
Yes.
get people, teach people games, learn games, be very, very relaxed. Yeah. And there are also things that they like to have. They like to set up games. Like we always have one guy that comes and does a blood on the clock tower, and he gets like 15, 16 people. And that's always a big draw. We have kind of a game geek list where people can reserve times where they say, hey, I want to play this big game, this Twilight Imperium game. And it's going to take several hours, and we need to find people that are committed to play. We're going to start at 10 o'clock on Saturday. So that's always an option if you're looking for some of those longer, time intensive, rule intensive games. It's a good place to get them done, because you can get the people, you get them dedicated, and you know that they're going to be there.
I know that you have a board game checkout, so people can don't even have to bring their own games. They can just check out a game off the big wall, which is awesome. And I know that that's your collection, correct?
That's a portion of my collection. I peaked out around 3,200 games last year, and it was getting a little bit out of control. And so I kind of went on a campaign to unload a lot at the virtual flea market. So I think I'm under 3,000 games by now. But what I do for the libraries, I only take about 450, 500 games, and I make a selection based on real timeless classics, stuff that seems to be very popular with people, and also a lot of the new hotness. I've been following the SN list. I kind of been tracking a lot of that, and so I've identified a lot of games that seem to be a big hit this year at SN. I'm planning on grabbing those and making those available for people to play in January.
This year you had miniature painting. Was that a new add-on to your con, or have you had that for a while?
Yeah, no, it was a new add-on, and as you know, because you were at GamerCon and
Hmm.
you were at Game Diego,
Yeah.
and the master miniature painter showed up and was doing some painting, and it looks like he's been doing it a long time. And I asked him if he wanted to come to EsCon and do it, and he said yes. And it was really great because it was something for a lot of the kids to do, because a lot of younger
Yeah.
kids, they can't sit and play games for 12 hours like we can.
Yeah,
And painting some miniatures is a nice little break, and
definitely.
he also gained some commissions and everything, so it worked out really well.
Now, do you have family that helps you, friends? You get a lot of help to help with the con?
Yeah, so my friend Jonathan, he actually works at the school as an administrator, and he was kind of the connection for us to kind of be able to utilize the school for the event. And it's at first I kind of did this as a one person thing with my other friend Jay, who helps out with the website and the registrations. But as you know, there's just so much to do as far as kind of setup and getting everything ready and getting the
Yeah,
badges ready and the tables. And so uh, over time, we've just kind of grown a little bit of staff of volunteers. My daughter runs kind of the snack bar. She brings a friend, and they kind of help out. And we had one of my friends from the game group. We have these tables that are kind of student test taking tables that are kind of thin and rectangular, and you kind of have to push them together to make a regular table, like a regular table you would do. But it would have a little crease in there, a little seam where the tables would connect, and he just hated that playing. So his solution was not to just complain about it, and he actually went out, bought about 35 neoprene pads from China, cut them, and brought them and donated them to EsCon. So
that's awesome.
it was really neat.
I want to thank you for helping Table for Two tonight get to know about EsCon. I want to let everybody know that they can get their tickets at reesgames.com. It's reesgames.com. And it's a great event. So go definitely get your tickets online. Um, and Table for Two, thank you, Steve, for taking the time hanging out with us and giving us a little more insight on your convention. And we want to thank everybody out there for joining us today. And till next time, just wanted you to remind you that January 5th to 7th at the Escondido Charter High School is when the event will be.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.